Good morning, middle one. This is Mrs. Yasmin. And now we are going to take a grammar lesson, which is called passive voice. Passive voice. Okay. Kindly please examine the following sentences. The mechanic repaired the car. The mechanic repaired the car. Let's examine this sentence. The mechanic. Who repaired the car? The mechanic. Who repaired the car? The mechanic. So the mechanic is the subject of the sentence. Repaired. This is the action. So we can call it the verb. The car. This is the object. Yes. So we can call this sentence active voice. Active voice. So how can I say that this sentence is an active sentence? When I have the subject, the verb, and the object. Let's move to the second sentence. The car was repaired by the mechanic. The car was repaired by the mechanic. Pay attention to the beginning of the sentence. Do we have the subject or the doer here? Is the car the one who repaired? No. So, this is not the subject. Actually, the sentence starts by the object. Okay? The mechanic, which is the subject, is mentioned at the very end of the sentence. These kinds of sentences, we call them passive voice. Passive voice. So, the passive voice sentence is the sentence that starts by the object. The passive voice sentence is the sentence that starts by the object. When do we use the passive? What is the need of the passive, or what is the importance of the passive voice in our life? When I would like to emphasize the action instead of the actor, I would like to focus on the action, not the doer of the action. So pay attention to the following sentence. Our car was repaired by our neighbor. Our car was repaired by our neighbor. So actually, I don't want to focus on the neighbor or on the doer of the action. I would like to focus on the action itself, the repairing of the car itself. So this is the first use for the passive. The second use, when the agent or the doer or the subject is unknown. So, I don't know who did the action. Examine the sentence. Her house was broken into last night. Her house was broken into last night. Actually, I don't know who broke into her house. So, I don't know the doer. Okay, this is the second use for the passive, when the doer is unknown. The third use, when the agent or the doer is unimportant. So it's not important to mention the doer itself. It's not important to mention the subject of the sentence. Examine the following sentence. Gas prices were raised again last week. Gas prices were raised again last week. So actually, it's not important to know who raised the gas prices. The most important part is to know that the gas prices are very high now. So again, when do we use the passive? When we would like to focus on the action instead of the actor. When the agent or the doer is unknown, or we don't know who did the action, or when the agent or the doer is not important to be mentioned. Now, let's know how to transfer or to change the sentence from the active sound to the passive sound, or from the active sentence to the passive sentence. Actually, there are three main rules that I have to put into consideration while changing or transferring from the active sentence to the passive one. The first rule is to start the passive sentence with the object of the active one. Start the passive sentence with the object of the active one. As we said in the previous example, we started with the object. Rule number 2 is to put verb to be in the same tense as the active sentence. To put verb to be in the same tense as the active sentence. And in the following examples, we are going to say how to apply these rules. Rule number 3 is to get the past participle of the main verb of the active sentence. To get the past participle of the main verb of the active sentence. Okay, now let's apply this. So pay attention that we do have 3 main steps to transfer from the active sentence to the passive sentence. Step number 1 is to start the sentence with the object of the active sentence. Number 2 is to put the verb in the same tense as the active sentence. Number 3 is to get the past participle of the main verb of the active sentence. Let's apply those 3 steps for the following sentences. In the continuous or the progressive tense sentence, the continuous form of verb to be is to put verb to be plus being. So put verb to be, which is am, is, are in the present form, or was and were in the past form, plus being. This is something which is fixed. So pay attention to this example. They are building more homes. They are building more homes. So this is an active sentence. Why did I say active? Because actually they is the subject of the sentence. Are building is the verb. More homes is the object. To transfer it into the passive voice, I have to start with the object, which is more homes. More homes. This is the object. The tense here is present continuous or present progressive. So, in order to put verb to be in the present progressive form, it has to be are being. So, why did I choose are? Because homes is plural. So, are being. Now, let's get the past participle of the main verb. The main verb here is building. The past participle of build is built. The past participle of build is built. So the sentence is going to be, more homes are being built this year. More homes are being built this year. The second point, in all the perfect tenses and the perfect modals, we usually use the past participle form of verb to be, which is have, has, or had plus been. Again, in the perfect tenses like the present perfect or the past perfect, and in the perfect modals as we have taken them in the modals lesson before, we always use verb to be in the form of have, has, or had plus been. Let's apply this in the following example. Examine this example. Gifts have been given out already. Gifts have been given out already. So actually here gifts is the object. And this is verb to be in the present perfect tense, have been. And the past participle of give is given out already. The next sentence, my sister should have been told about the party. My sister should have been told about the party. So, again, the object of the sentence is my sister. And verb to be is should have been. So, this is verb to be in the perfect form. Okay? And the past participle of the verb tell is told. The sentence again, my sister should have been told about the party. Number 3, we can mention the doer of the action at the very end of the sentence using by. So, link the doer of the action to the sentence using by. Examine the following sentence. The homework is done by me. So actually it is more important to mention or to focus that the homework is done. Okay, that's why I put the doer at the very end of the sentence using by. The homework is done by me. Let's apply the rules that we have taken or the steps that we have talked about to transfer from the active to the passive. This is the simple present tense. Sentence number 1. I walk the dogs every day. I walk the dogs every day. Where is the subject of the sentence? This is I. Where is the verb or the action? Walk. Where is the subject? The dogs. So, what is the most appropriate word to start with? The object, the dogs. Verb to be at the same sentence or at the same tense of the sentence will be. This is present simple, so verb to be am, is, or are. The dogs should take are. So the dogs are. What is the past participle of the verb walk? Walked. So the sentence should be the dogs are walked every day. The dogs are walked every day. Sentence number 2. Millions of people watch the Super Bowl. Millions of people watch the Super Bowl. Where is the object of the sentence? It's the Super Bowl. Verb to be in the present simple form with the Super Bowl, it's is. So, the Super Bowl is watched. This is the past participle of the verb watch. So, the Super Bowl is watched. And I can add by millions of people. The Super Bowl is watched by millions of people. Sentence number 3. People write many letters to the president. So, where is the object to start with? Many letters. Many letters. It's a plural noun, so verb to be here should be are. So, many letters are written. Written is the past participle of write. Written is the past participle of write. So, many letters are written to the president. If we would like to add the doer of the action, so we can use by people. So, the sentence will be, many letters are written to the president by people, if you would like to add the doer of the action. Here is the present continuous form. Sentence number 1. I am walking the dogs. I am walking the dogs. So, as we said, the object is the dogs. Verb to be in the continuous form, I should put the appropriate verb to be plus being. The dogs takes are. So, the dogs are being. And the past participle of the verb walk is going to be walked. So the dogs are being walked. If you would like to add the doer, it's going to be the dogs are being walked by me. Here I'm going to change the subject pronoun into an object pronoun because it's going to be added at the very end of the sentence. The dogs are being walked. If you would like to add the doer, you should transfer the subject pronoun into an object pronoun. Sentence number 2. Millions of people are watching the Super Bowl. So again, the object is the Super Bowl. Verb to be is. And I have to add being. So the Super Bowl is being watched by millions of people. Sentence number 3. People are writing many letters to the president. People are writing many letters to the president. Again, the object is many letters. Verb to be in the continuous form here is going to be are being. So many letters are being written to the president. So if you would like to add the doer of the action, it's going to be many letters are being written to the president by people. Pay attention that it's not important to add the doer at any time. So just add the doer if you would like to mention it.